Please check out lucidphilosophy.com for information on his logic book specifically and philosophical lessons generally. My understanding of logic comes from his online book, Lucid Logic. Links to his website and YouTube channel are in the description of this video. What is an argument? An argument is a conclusion supported by premises. The conclusion is what you are trying to prove, and the premises are the evidence for it. Exercise. All men are mammals. Todd is a man. Therefore, Todd is a mammal. The conclusion is Todd is a mammal. This is also a syllogism, since it has three terms, two premises, and one conclusion. Conclusion identifying words. Thus, therefore, consequently, accordingly, so, it must be that, implies that, and as a result. Premise indicators. Since, because, may be inferred from, and given that. The two steps to evaluate arguments. Arguments go bad if it has a faulty inference or false, dubious, or unclear premises. In short, arguments go bad when there is a problem with the facts or the reasoning/inference from the facts. Ask yourself if it has a faulty premise or good inference. How to evaluate any argument. Step 1. Assume the premises are true even if you know they are not. Now ask, do the assumed premises provide good reasons for believing the conclusion? If not, the inference is poor. If yes, the inference is good. Step 2. Are the premises true or reasonable? All A are B is not the same as all B are A, e.g., all cats are animals is not the same as all animals are cats. You cannot infer one statement from the other. Tip: even if you know all the facts, your argument may be bad because you have a poor inference, i.e., poor reasoning from those facts. For example, all cats are animals. Lassie is an animal. Conclusion: Lassie is a cat. Deductive and inductive arguments. Deductive arguments. The conclusion must follow if we assume the premises are true. That is, it is impossible for the conclusion to be false if we assume the premises are true. For example, all women have long hair. Sarah is a woman, therefore Sarah has long hair. Inductive arguments. The conclusion probably follows if we assume the premises are true. That is, it is improbable that the conclusion is false if we assume the premises are true. Example: all women probably have long hair. Sarah is a woman, therefore Sarah probably has long hair. Logic vocabulary. Part 1. Only deductive arguments are valid, invalid, sound, and unsound. In a deductive argument, test the inference. If the inference is good, it is a valid argument. If the inference is bad, it is invalid. Next, test the premises. If the argument is valid and the premises are true, the argument is sound. If the argument is valid and the premises are false, the argument is unsound. All invalid arguments are unsound. For example, all cows are stars. I am a cow, therefore I am a star. This argument is valid but unsound. If we assume the premises are true, the conclusion must follow, but it has false premises, so it is unsound. Part 2. Only inductive arguments are strong, weak, cogent, or uncogent. Good inference equals strong argument. Bad inference equals weak argument. An inductive argument is cogent if it is strong and has true premises. If it is strong and has false premises, the argument is uncogent. For example, the last 30 Texas governors have been women. Therefore, the next Texas governor will probably be a woman. This is a strong inductive argument, since if we assume the premise is true, the conclusion is probably true, but the premise is false, so it is uncogent. It is strong, but uncogent. And here's the charts detailing deductive and inductive arguments. Okay, now we're going to cover formal fallacies / valid argument forms. Here's an example of a formal fallacy. Illicit conversion. All A are B, therefore all B are A. For example, all cats are animals, therefore all animals are cats. Illicit conversion is always a fallacy because it has a bad inference or form. Modus Ponens. If A, then B, A, therefore B. This argument form is always valid since the conclusion must follow if we assume the premises are true. For example, if I have pink hair, then I am a liberal. I have pink hair, therefore I am a liberal. Affirming the consequent. If A, then B. B, therefore A. For example, if I have the flu, then I'll have a fever. I have a fever, therefore I have the flu. Affirming the consequent is always a fallacy because it has a bad form or inference. You cannot infer the truth of the antecedent by affirming the consequent. How to make this argument valid? If I have the flu, then I'll have a fever. I have the flu, therefore I have a fever. Change the second sentence to I have the flu instead of I have a fever. Note, the antecedent is the part that comes first while the consequent is the part that comes second. A is the antecedent because it comes first, just after if, and B is the consequent because it comes last, just after then. Affirming the consequent is a poor imitation of Modus Ponens. Modus Tollens. If A, then B, not B, therefore not A. For example, if it is a cat, then it is an animal. It is not an animal, therefore it is not a cat. Modus Tollens is always valid. Denying the antecedent. If A, then not B. Not A, therefore not B. For example, if it is a cat, then it is an animal. It is not a cat, therefore it is not an animal. Denying the antecedent is a poor imitation of Modus Tollens.